What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. In this training, we're going to break down the month-to-month summer checklist for staying on track to college applications. And with our very first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony. I'm actually a former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UCLA outreach director. I've been behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, helping students get into their top choice colleges, not just at the UCs, but this past year, a bunch of our kids went to the Ivies. A bunch of our kids went to top private schools, out-of-state schools as well too. So pretty much what today's trade is going to be a breakdown of kind of what we usually have our students and our families go through to make sure they stay on track as well. So if you are joining us here, really quick, right? Feel free to drop your graduation year in the chat. If you are a ninth grader, drop a 9, 10th grader, drop a 10, 11th grader, drop a 11, 12th graders, not sure why you're here, drop a 12 as well too. If you're a middle school family, you can drop 6, 7, or 8 in the chat down below so we can know kind of where you guys are coming from there. So oops, Discord there, so we know kind of where you guys are from. We can kind of cater this presentation live to those who are here as well. Okay, so if as I present today there's questions, go ahead and drop the questions in the chat box or in the Q&A box as well, which I get to it at the end of today. We will also have these notes available within 48 hours for you guys. The replay will also be available within 48 hours as well too. Before we get started, a few quick announcements for you guys. I'll drop it in the chat real fast for those who are here live as well, right? Number one, if you are one of our current juniors, right? If you are a junior family, you're a class of 2026, and you haven't signed up for one of our live workshops yet, I'm not sure why you haven't, right? The College App Intensive is a two-part event. First part, we help you guys come in with nothing, leave with your first drafts of all your essays done. Part two, you come back and we help you take that from done to final draft as well too. So you guys are interested in signing up, you can go to collegeappintensive.com for that. Every week, we also share out a private newsletter giving some updates, some knowledge, some scholarship information. If you guys are interested in that, go to collegeadmissionsecrets.co. Just not com.co. You guys can join that every Tuesday morning. We release. So the next edition, if you're watching this live, is tomorrow morning. Again, if you want the notes for today's call or the replays, you can text our team 949-775-0865 as well. And if you're new here, we give free coaching call to our new families. Here, text the word coach, and then they'll help set you up with that here. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the month-to-month breakdown. Let's go ahead and start with this month of April, right? So if you guys are in April, right, there's a few things you gotta do, and I'm gonna break this down in 3 also categories. First one is academics, 2 is activities, 3 is the application itself, right? Every single time we talk about college admissions, it always breaks down to one of these 3 things. There's always usually something you need to work on with one of these 3, right? So let's talk about that today. So when it comes to academics, right? When it comes to academics, there's a few things, right? We're preparing for AP exams, right? That's going to happen in May. So in the month of May, you're going to be taking your AP exams. Really quick in the chat, is anyone here taking an AP exam next month? Is anyone here, their child is in any AP class that next month your child is going to take an AP exam? Drop a quick yes in the chat. If you watch it, by the way, in the future, right? Go ahead and drop a yes in the comments below as well. There you go. People are, and students here too. So I am. Man, fantastic, right? So you guys are preparing for that. A little spoilers for those who are watching this live as well. The next week, I actually brought in one of my friends who's an AP test prep expert, a tutor. We'll do a little training on how to ace your AP exams. You guys are watching this live. You can let our team know for like type the word, use the word AP, like AP class or something, and then our team will send you the private link to that training. It'll be happening next week there. But basically, you're preparing for your AP exams. You want to do well in your class. The same thing here, right? Audit and see class performance, right? Hey, how are you doing? This is around the halfway point of April itself. So we have a few more of spring itself. So you have a few more months into finals. Again, students don't accidentally get a B or a C. You saw it coming. You saw it coming the entire way. Catch it now so we can figure out how to bounce back up if we need to. Or if your grades are strong, let's keep it strong the rest of the way. That's pretty much for academics. Some of you guys might take the SAT, ACT, right? Some of you guys have signed up for the May exam. Some of you have signed up for the June exam. That's an awesome opportunity for you guys to do this as well too. Okay, so that's the first piece over here, right? When it comes to activities, right? When it comes to activities as well too, you're gonna finalize summer plans, right? You start finalizing summer plans. Summer is coming up in 2 months. In 2 months, so we should kind of know what we are looking to do, what we should be doing. If you haven't finalized it yet, the time is ticking. Time is ticking on this. So make sure you finalize your summer plans. Also, leadership, right? So usually around this month, next month, there's a lot of elections for the following year. So again, that's something you're considering doing. That's a good thing to do here. And when it comes to the application itself, right? What are we doing? Our coaches right now this month, we're doing a college list, right? So actually for our students in our coaching program, for our juniors, you should be having your college list call with our strategists, right? They're going to basically help you figure out your reach schools, your match schools, and your safety schools, right? They'll help you create a list, they help you create what majors you're going to be doing for each of these schools as well. Why do we do it so early? Is we need to know what applications to prepare for. We want to know what essays, right? What applications for the applications to use, which essays to prepare for. Little spoilers, the apps don't usually change every year, right? So if you know what schools you're applying to, you could start looking at the essays for this upcoming year and start preparing with that as well. And again, if you stick with it, 99% of it won't change when it come the August 1st when it officially opens. Okay. So that's the big thing our students are doing with us here. The other big one, if you haven't signed up for the College App Intensive, right? We have our Kickstart happening right now, right? Our Kickstart is happening. We're taking our students, right? They come in with nothing, right? They're leaving with their first drafts completed. I think that's the cool part of the event. It's a very structured approach. We tell students exactly what to do. So long as they're following along, they will hit every single part. And then for those who are going to come or those who are not going to come, right, we give you a little preview of the weekend, right? So what we're going to do first is going to identify, right, the activities, the experiences, and identities that make up who you are. This is a student, right? Make up who you are. Once you have that, you're going to go ahead and pick your top 4 topics, right, from this list itself. So out of everything you've done in high school, what 4 thing has made you who you are today? Everything did. But what are top 4 that made you who you are? Then once you have that 4, you're gonna do story time, right? Each topic you pick, this is probably a story in your head that you kind of thought of for each one. Tell me the story really quick though. After you told me a story really quick, the next component of this is gonna be, we call it dig deep, right? Dig deep as well too. That means where that come from? What's the why behind what you talked about? What's the inner thing? What do you want the readers to know about you, right? Then we have our students do a messy draft, where that's basically get all your thoughts down. Actually, no, before we do messy draft, we're gonna pick the prompts first. Pick the prompts first, right? So now that you have the story, the insight, right? What's the prompt you're gonna pick? We teach our students how to pick the prompts on for each of the stuff. And again, keep in mind the prompts are probably not gonna change by the time this upcoming year comes around. And then you do a messy draft, right? This is the messy draft. This is mainly for the PIQs if you're applying to the private schools. If you're, sorry, the UC schools. If you're not applying to the UC schools, these are excellent topics for your supplements, right? So keep that in mind as well too. Once you have it, so PIQ or supplements, right? Once you have that done, we're gonna go ahead and have our students do the personal statement draft, right? So this is for the private schools, the out-of-state schools, the common application, and after that, that's the whole day, right? So you clean it up as well. So this is the kind of step-by-step. If you're looking to come to the event, we run through all this with the student, right? That is basically our kickstart, right? So if you guys aren't coming, I don't know why, but feel free to do it on your own. This is the steps here, okay? So that's basically April. All right, and you also got to celebrate Coach Tony's birthday. My birthday is next week as well too. Right, so boom. Right, so it's that. Right, so that's that. That is part of the homework for all seniors. Right, next May. Right, so in the month of May itself, what do we do? Again, there's three kind of categories: academics, activities, and the application itself. Right, if all goes well, you see that we'll have a lot of changes. Right, so this one in May, right, do well on AP exams. Right, prepare for finals, right? As well too. So you're preparing for your final exams. But also one more thing is that summer classes, right? Are you going to do summer classes? I do recommend a lot of juniors right now do plan to take a college class unless your record is so good, right? The reason why is these classes are the last set of grades that the colleges will see. Colleges won't usually see anything past your summer, so that's gonna be really important there. They'll see senior year, but they won't see the grades of senior year itself. So that's gonna be really, really important for us to get right. Okay. So as that register. So as a register for summer classes, right? When it comes to activities, right? Same thing. Continue doing what you're doing, right? And when it comes to activities, right, there's kind of two buckets of activities, right? The bucket number one is things related. I call it tasting your major, right? Tasting your major. So if you told me I want to be a business major, I'd be like, cool. How do I know? If I looked at your application, how do I know you are a business major? If you told me I want to be an engineer, cool. How do I know you want to be an engineer? I call it taste doing things to show the reader that you're interested in that as number one. Then the bucket number two is going to be your interests, right? And what makes you different as well too. So outside of your major, what else are you doing? Because everyone, let's say you're computer science, everyone who's doing computer science is doing the same bucket number one. They're all coding, they're all doing hackathons, they're all taking coding classes. That's the same for everyone. What makes it different is going to be bucket number two. And I think that's the big difference here. Okay. So that's that here. Right. Keep doing what you're doing is the biggest thing. You'll see, by the way, that's pretty much activities the whole way through. Right. Application. Right. Same thing as above as well. So when it comes to the application process, if you haven't come to Kickstart, right? Come to Kickstart is the biggest thing you're working on. But for those who have attended Kickstart, you're working on your drafts, right? Our students are starting to work on their drafts already. We know that students are busy every summer, right? And again, some of you guys are probably planning summer trips and everything as well too. The reason why a lot of students don't do this till after summer is they're like, oh, it's still time management, right? So if you manage your time and you plan for it, this is why, because I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, right? The reason why start so early, right? Here's a strategy for you guys, right? One of the strategies you want to apply early action to as many schools as you can, right? The reason why you want to do this is that, let's say best case scenario, what we all want, you get accepted, right? Result number one, you get accepted, right? And you're done, right? You get accepted, you're done, especially if it's one of your top schools, even easier. We're done as well too. If you don't get in, right? Do you get rejected? No, you do not get rejected, right? Instead, you get deferred, right? Meaning they push your application to the regular cycle, which means you have two shots now, early and regular as well, right? So you get two shots. So why don't more students do this earlier? Because most students don't start thinking about their college apps and essays until after they come back from summer break, right? Summer break, you come back when? September, I think, right? Late August, right? Early September, right? And then early decision apps, right? These are due mid-October, right? So you have like a month, right? So October. So that's why not a lot of people do it, because hey, they don't have time to finish it. Versus, imagine if you started back in April, back in May. You will have all those months to kind of keep working on your essays, make sure they're perfect. By the time you get there, you can submit with confidence. Okay. So that's May. Let's move on to June. Right. So again, keep in mind, this is gonna be a general one. Some schools a little different. Some of you guys are already done in school in May. Some of you guys will leave in June as well too. Same three categories: academics, activities, and the application itself. Right. So when it comes to the academic, and this will be get a little repetitive now as well too. Right. We're gonna finish final strong. Right, is the biggest one. Over here, you gotta prepare for summer classes. Prepare for summer classes here. Activities, right? Continue activities, right? When it comes to application, you're also gonna also do again work Kickstart if you haven't signed up for Kickstart yet. This is our last month that we're hosting Kickstart and work on your drafts. Right? Boom. Right? Very straightforward, June. Nothing super complicated yet. Right? Now is gonna start getting exciting. July, right? So July is gonna be fun, right? Because some of you guys are gonna be on vacation, some of you guys are not. So let's kind of copy a few of these real fast, right? So when it comes to academics, right? Summer classes, do well in summer classes. Again, as a reminder, the reason why we're doing summer classes is this is the last set of grades the colleges will see on your profile. You want to end on a strong note. All right, so that's why we do summer classes here. I think do two summer classes is the screen class there. Continue activities, right? This is now, let's throw in the word summer activities because now you're transitioning to summertime. You're doing stuff for juniors, by the way, incoming seniors. This is probably your last summer to do anything. So make sure you maximize the time. Big little tip here, right? Like FYI, right? And then FYI, right? You have 24 hours a day times 7 days a week, right? That's a whole week, right? So that's 168 hours in a week. Okay. Keep in mind, you should be sleeping for 8 hours a night. So that's 56 hours gone, right? Summer is their school. Probably not, unless you get summer classes, right? But how much is summer classes, right? At most, right? At most 40 hours. Oh, sorry, like 30 hours a week, right? For school, right? And how much homework, right? Probably not a lot of home, but at most, right? At most 15 hours, 3 hours a day for homework, right? Let's say summertime, you're gonna hang out with your friends as well, too, right? Maybe let's say 2 hours a day, roughly 2 hours a day for TikTok, Netflix, blah, blah, blah. 2 hours a day per day for I call me time, all right, video games, Netflix, TikTok. When you do the math, right? 160 minus 56 minus 30 minus 15 minus 14, you still have 53 hours left. So the question when people told me, Coach Tony, my child has no time, they're so busy. I'm like, really, really, really. Tell me how they go, and and I believe it if you give me a big list of stuff they're doing, but they're like, oh no, they're in this summer program. I'm like, okay, how long is summer program? Is it all 10 weeks of summer? No, it's only 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, what about the other 8 weeks that they have? Right? Hey, they are doing a program for like 8 weeks. Awesome. Are they in the program 24 hours a day? No, it's probably if it's that long, it's probably like 8 hours. Cool. What about the other 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours doing that, 2 hours doing you? Where's the other 6 hours going to then? There's always time. People can underestimate the concept of time is a thing. Again, we're not making you do stuff you don't want to do either, right? Do stuff you enjoy. That's the whole beauty of this, right? When it comes to July, we no longer have kickstarts, right? We now have accelerators, right? So the accelerators where we take our students' drafts from done to final draft. With this one, we do host them also in person as well too. So we have 15 students, 3 coaches, 5-to-1 ratio. Very, very cool. 60 different cities across California. You guys can join as well too. So that's that, right? One other thing you do for our coaching families, you're going to have an essay strategy session, right? Session with our strategist. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take your first draft where you're at and see, cool, are these the right drafts for you? Do we need to tweak it? Do we need to scrap? Because I'd rather scrap it now than wait till later to scrap it as well too, right? So this would be a big session that we do to make sure you are doing this here. Okay, so that's July. Moving on. Oops, moving on to August. Right. When it comes to August, same thing. Right. This is pretty straightforward as well. Right. So August. Boom, right? But it's a little different now, right? Do well summer classes, continue activities, right? What happens? Come to accelerator, right? What happens in August, everyone? Applications all college applications open October 1st. October 1st. So October, sorry, not October 1st. What am I talking about? August 1st. Every app will open August 1st, right? So if you're applying, anyone here applying to UCs, drop a number one in the chat. If anyone here applying to a UC school, drop a number one in the chat if you are applying to a UC school. And if you are applying to a private or out-of-state school, drop a number two in the chat. If you're one of those who are applying to a private and Ivy, right, drop a number two in the chat. One, UC, two, privates as well too. All right, we got a mix here. We got mixes of ones. We got mixes of twos as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Right. So it makes of both, right? So the UC app and the Common app, and those who are using the Coalition app, it all releases on August 1st. Spoilers again, it doesn't change. Most statistically, it doesn't change. And if they do change, which I wish they do, they'll change like one or two questions on it, which again, it's not worth waiting till August 1st to start for one or two questions. So I will go, and it's not even like an essay question. It's like, I think last year or 2 years ago, it was instead of asking, what's your preferred name? They say, what is your lived name? That was the one change the entire app. We go through it every year to kind of vet for it. For those of you who are watching this live in the month of August, the first week, I want to go through it live and show you guys what are the changes from last year to this year, so you guys are aware of that as well too. Okay, but again, it's very something small. Doesn't like the year before that they moved the financial question about residency from the last to the first section. So again, very small change that doesn't really affect much at all. Okay, so as that, so all the apps are going to open. So again, I would recommend creating the accounts this month as well too. So which each of the schools you're applying to, you can apply, you create an account. You can actually create an account now. You don't have to submit it now, but you can go create an account to see what it looks like. So you guys have an idea of what these apps look like as well. But again, big thing is that on August 1st, the college apps are going to open, and hopefully you guys are making progress on your apps as well too, because you can start doing plug it in, right? One thing I'll share as well for those who are curious, the Common app has something called automatic admissions now, right? So the Common app, this is like the private schools and out-of-state schools as well too, right? For these, there's a new feature now on Common app where you are able to plug in your details, right? And once you plug in your details, some schools will actually say, hey, we want to grant you admissions automatically. So it's a pre-enrollment almost as well. Okay, so that's that. That's pretty much the applications. Okay, so moving on, we're in September now. Ooh, we're getting excited, right? So it's September here, right? Now we're usually starting senior year, right? So do well. Again, senior year, you're gonna go ahead and do well in senior year first semester. Why do I say that? Because colleges, most schools will not see first semester. Some will, right? Some will. Some schools might ask for it. Some might ask for it is number one, right? Some, if you apply some might require it if regular. So some of your private schools, their essays are due in January and February. By January and February, you do have your grades. So some schools will actually require you to make sure you have that. So again, either way, make sure your first semester is really strong. Some schools, again, the UCs have something called augmented review, where they might ask you for, hey, tell me how you did for a semester. If you didn't do well, and you usually get that, by the way, spoilers, if you're in the middle, if you're in the maybe pile. Okay, so that's something important to keep in mind as well too. So that's that. That's the biggest piece over here. And then, so that's pretty much it for academics. When it comes to activity, continue, right? But, right, here's the FOI here, right? Here's actually this is the real talk, right? This is going to matter less and less as the days go on, right? So when it comes to your activity section, right, you should do this just to keep doing it. But for the purposes of college admissions, if you're doing something for college admissions, this is not going to be something they're going to check for or audit for as well too. That being said, right, we do recommend treating activities, right? Activities as your stress reliever, right? Because a lot of students, like, they're not doing soccer to do well in college, right? They're not doing this club to look good for college. Some of you guys might have, but the idea is these clubs is their de-stressor. It is their escape away from everything else. So I do encourage students. I tell them, find stuff you enjoy because it won't feel like work. But keep in mind the activity is not going to play a big role, kind of almost moving forward here. Okay, and then yeah, okay, this is our last month. Last month, we're hosting the accelerator event itself. That's pretty much it. I think those are all the big ones. So last month, we're finishing the accelerator event. For our coaching families, by the way, you're going to start doing send-off calls with our team here. Send-off calls, we go ahead and share your screen because by now you should have your essays done. If you worked on it all summer, right? So you're gonna share your screen with us. We're gonna make sure everything's plugged in correctly on your app, and we click submit together on your app. So you are good for the early action. Our internal deadline, by the way, for the early action, early decision schools is going to be October 1st, right? Our students are typically done 2 to 4 weeks before each app is due. So you don't stress about it, right? Like I mentioned earlier, for those, I saw a question come in, right? There's early action, early decision out there. Early action means you apply early, you find out early. That's kind of the first one. The other one is called early decision. Early decision is apply early. If you get in, you're legally going here next year because you sign an agreement with the college saying, if you tell me yes, I am committing here. So with the early decision school, you can only do it, only pick one college, right? Only. You can't pick more than one school because again, you can't legally commit to two, right? Only to one. So that's the big thing here. It is a little higher increases, right? Higher increase odds than the other ones as well too. But again, it's only one that you're ultimately going to as well. And as a little spoiler for that, like, what if I don't go, right? Can they really stop me? Answer is no, right? Legally, they can, but they're not going to go after you because then keep in mind it's going to be bad publicity for them. But what's going to hurt is your school, right? So your school is going to be the one there. So again, definitely that's the thing there. Okay, so that's the biggest thing here. That's the September, right? Moving into October, right? October as well. So we're going to October, and you can start seeing it's getting similar and similar for you guys, right? Academics, we still want to do well for first semester because again, what if they ask for my grades? We want to do well as well too. We're going to continue our activities because that's going to be big. We no longer have accelerator for our students, but we're going to have the send off calls. The next internal deadline for us is on November 1st, right? If you're applying to the UCs, right? UCs and Cal States, we actually have our students finish early, right? UCs and Cal States, by the way, UCs and CSUs give you a preview. Their applicate they do not have early action or decision schools or decision. They only have regular, and their regular is November 30th. Last 2 years, they kind of changed it on us. Well, I mean, last year they changed it, which was like a little interesting. But typically, it's November 30th is the date, so that's how we want to plan for as well. Okay, so that's be the big timeline over here, and then November. So you can see we kind of speed through this up a little bit more in November. You guys, I'm a huge fan of enjoying Thanksgiving with your family. So try to get your apps done as fast as you can as well too. Academics still do well, activities do well. Send off calls. We do our send off calls with our students for the private call. The private out of state deadline for us is December 1st, right? Because can you keep working on it after? Of course. Do you want to spend your Christmas break, winter break, holiday break working on essays? I don't think so, right? And plus, if you applied early action, right? You have most of your essays done already. So it's not like the hard part was done. The hard part is the essays. The rest is easy. Oh, once you have this done, we got to tweak a little bit per school and submit to all the rest of the school. So you'll be done with it even before winter break itself. Okay, so and that is the key of all this. As long as you're done before the new year, it's kind of our mini game plan for you guys there. Okay, well, this has been a quick little high level kind of like breakdown of what you should be working on every single month if you're especially a junior right now going into senior year itself. Okay. That being said, I see here. Um, I see here we have a question in the chat. By the way, before everyone is interested, right? One more little plug real fast. If you guys are interested in the intensive events, right? It's really cool. We already had three, right? It's only when we had three so far. We have two virtual ones so far. We work with a high school. So if your school is interested, talk to our team. We can actually come out to your high school and work with a group of students as well too. That's pretty cool. So that's that, and then we have 9 more weekends. I think 9 more weekends of this. Basically, we're doing April, May, and June. All of April sold out. May, one fun thing in May, we have one in-person Kickstart, which is cool as well too. I'll be there. So those who are free, May 31st, I'll be in the San Jose area to host that one. That's gonna be really fun there. And then in the summertime, we're gonna have Kickstarts, and then we're gonna help you accelerators to help you with the finishing of the essays there as well. Okay, so that's cool. All right, questions. One person here says, signed up for a Kickstart. Thank you for signing up for Kickstart. But not Accelerate. Can I cancel but sign up for another Kickstart Accelerate? Paid my down deposit. So what you can do, reach out to our team, send an email. Right? Send it. So for you, send an email to our team, and they can give you, they can help you out with this, right? Email at support at egelloC. It's the word college backwards.com. So go ahead and email our team, and then our team can help you out with this here. Okay. Next one. Should you ask for Lazarek and oops, they copy correctly. Should you ask for Lazarek? Great question as well. Just go ahead and add to our little thing again, right? I forgot that. Thanks for letting me know. What I would strategically do, I would ask in May, right? I would ask in May. So in May, I would ask 2-3 people for a letter to uh to see if they can write you a letter of recommendation, right? Why? Why do you do it this early? The reason why is you're showing the recommenders that you are proactive, right? The more traits you can showcase to them, the more they can showcase on their letters to you as well too. So we usually, and plus this helps you prevent like who do I ask for later on. So one of the big things here, and realistically, you're not going to ask a senior year teacher for Lazarek because they don't know you, right? So it'll probably be someone you've already had contact with or are working with already, 11th grade teacher, 10th grade teacher, sometimes someone outside, a coach or someone else, right? So usually by the end of junior year, you kind of have an idea of who you want to ask. And some colleges will ask for like a teacher of a math teacher, and you kind of stuck with kind of figure it out. But again, at this point, because ask first, right? Ask first, and then when you come back from break, right, September, right, re-ask for a letter of recommendation, right? And then say, hey, you told me yes end of last year. Can you still write me one? They're gonna say yes, awesome. Then you can go ahead and do it as well. Okay, so keep that in mind here. Okay, so I think that'll help you, and just make sure that the recommended submits on time. We actually have a whole training on Letters of Rex. If you guys are interested in that, just text our team can grab it for you. If you guys are interested in that training there. Okay. Another question here is, then this copy is not working. All right, try again. You mentioned activity senior is less important. You consider taking a leadership role in a club, FBA, oh, not worth it. So here's the answer. The answer is always worth it, but you shouldn't be doing it for college, if that makes sense. Because if you're doing it for college, when I ask you why you're doing that, your student will have no answer. So here's a little spoilers, by the way. For the weekend events that we throw, this is how I know so fast what's the motivation behind your student. The reason I keep saying, if you watch me for a while, I keep saying, do what your kid loves, do what your kid loves, do. And some of you agree, and some of you are like, no, that's too easy, right? And do something else. How I find out is during Kickstart. I ask the student, tell me why you did this. The students who know why so fast. those kids finish so easy because that's what we're trying to pull out of them is, and then there's a reason why. If, and this is like the little gut check, parents, if you are doing things, if your child's doing things to look good for college, it's going to be really hard for them to write their essays because the essay is not about the thing, it's about their why. And if you did something because it looks good for college, that is your why. Your why is it looks good for college, which it's hard. Like, do you really want to write that? I want to do this to look good for college, right? Versus there's a student who cares about this stuff a lot more, and their story is gonna be a lot stronger. So that being said, right? Yeah, of course, I think the student would want to do that, right? Because if you love something so much, you're gonna keep doing it. If you keep doing it more, you want to give back. You want to help others, right? As well too. That so it's natural. Again, the idea is it should be natural. You shouldn't have to force this as well too. But that's the big intention of all this. Is like, is that who your child is? Are they a natural leader? They're so cool. They'll love to do it regardless of the payoff of it as well too. And again, you can share, right? You can share. So when I say to recap for those who are selective listening, right? When I mention the real talk here, it means let's say you stop doing the things that you're doing, right? Or you say you do it, but you don't do it. No one's gonna audit you. No one's gonna be like, is Johnny still the president of this club? They're not gonna do that, right? So as well too. But does your list matter? Yes. What you do, what you're planning to do senior year? Yes. The class is what you take senior year? Yes. That's important as well too, right? But are they gonna audit you? I think that's kind of a bit better. Let me rephrase what I wrote earlier. Are they gonna audit and check, is Johnny still doing this? Is Johnny still doing this? Johnny still doing this? They're not gonna do that. So I think that's the what I was trying to share earlier. Okay. All right. Does UC's look for AP scores for college admissions? It is a factor. We do see it. But there's a reason why you don't hear me talk too much about AP scores, right? Because again, it's just a score is all. Okay. Question: do I need to get an internship for my application? Fun fact: no, most of our students do not have anything and they get in. Again, we interviewed a bunch of our students on our YouTube channel. If you guys look up the word egelloC, college backwards, you'll find it as well. You'll see that our kids don't do that and they still make it in as well too. So again, do you need it? No. Can you have it? Sure, right? Sure, as well too is the biggest thing. Right? Next one. Do readers, right? Do readers wait until that to read the apps, or is it rolling readers when app comes in? It is they start reading once they are trained, right? They start reading once they are trained. When are they trained? Historically, around late October, early November. There's a reason why we have our students submit November 1st. Ooh, man, right? Right? You can start submitting, I think October 1st is when the app opens to start submitting. We don't have students submit that early because again, no one's going to read it that early, but they'll start reading once the training is done. So for me, when I was a trainer, they only opened in the month of November back in the day. So our training was mid-November. So any apps that was submitted from like November 1st, like 10th, no one read it, or the team read it internally, but like the readers themselves didn't read it yet. So once we were trained, then we went ham. Then we started attacking the prompts after that. So that's the thing. So I would say it's rolling. If you want to think about rolling, it's rolling, and every app gets multiple reads there. Okay. Um, this parent asked again. I already mentioned it, right? So if you signed up for the Kickstart, want to upgrade or cancel or whatever, right? Send email to our team. They're gonna help you guys out as well. And for you, I don't think they'll cancel it. They'll probably do a change of weekend for you and have you just pay the difference to get to the accelerator. Is all. But don't listen to me. Trust that our team is much better and smarter than I am. So do that. Okay. I think that's all the questions for today. So that is basically your month-to-month summer checklist for this. If you guys have any more questions, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below somewhere as well too. But if not, I'll see you guys on next call. Bye everyone.